Morris was an ordinary boy, living in a quaint little house at the edge of town. His nights were usually peaceful, filled with dreams of adventure and laughter. But one fateful night, everything changed. It was a moonless night, the kind that makes shadows dance and whispers echo. Morris lay in his bed, the covers pulled up to his chin, staring at the ceiling. The room was eerily silent, except for the occasional creak of the old floorboards. As he drifted into slumber, Morris found himself in a dream. But this was no ordinary dream. It was a nightmare. He stood in a desolate graveyard, the air thick with the scent of decay. Tombstones loomed like silent sentinels, their inscriptions worn away by time. And there, standing amidst the graves, was a figure, a ghostly woman in a tattered white gown. Her eyes were hollow, devoid of life, and her skin was as pale as the moon. She beckoned to Morris, her bony finger pointing toward an ancient crypt. Morris's heart raced as he followed her. The crypt was hidden behind a gnarled tree, its entrance overgrown with ivy. The air grew colder, and the ground seemed to shift beneath his feet. The ghostly woman led him inside, her footsteps soundless on the stone floor. The crypt was a labyrinth of narrow passages, each one darker than the last. Morris stumbled, his breath coming in ragged gasps. The walls seemed to close in on him, and the air grew heavier. He could hear whispers, soft, insistent, seeming to come from the very walls themselves. The ghostly woman whispered,
"Morris, you've come to set me free."
He didn't understand. Set her free from what? But before he could ask, she pointed to a rusted iron door at the end of the passage. "Open it," she commanded. Morris hesitated, his hand trembling as he pushed the door open. The room beyond was suffused with an otherworldly light. And there, lying on a stone slab, was a figure, an exact replica of the ghostly woman.
"Release me, I've been trapped here for centuries,"
she pleaded. Morris's mind raced. Was this a test? A trap? But something in her eyes, the desperation, the longing, made him reach out. He touched her cold hand, and a surge of energy passed through him. The room trembled, and the walls cracked. The ghostly woman's form wavered, and then she dissolved into mist. Morris stumbled backward, the crypt collapsing around him. He woke up in his bed, drenched in sweat, the memory of the dream still fresh. But the next morning, when he looked in the mirror, he saw something that chilled him to the bone, a faint, ghostly mark on his hand, the same shape as the woman's handprint. From that day on, Morris knew he was no longer ordinary. The ghost had chosen him, and he was bound to her. Every night, he returned to the crypt in his dreams, seeking answers, seeking release. And the whispers followed him, growing louder with each passing night. "Set me free," they said. "Set me free." But Morris wondered, was he freeing the ghost, or was she binding him? The line between dream and reality blurred, and he feared that one day, he would become a part of the crypt, just like her, a lost soul forever trapped in the darkness.